Hi, it's Miss Andrea, and I'm back with another homeschool video. When I decided to embark on talking about homeschooling again, even though I'm not currently homeschooling any children, they are grown. Um, I wanted to do it from an advisory standpoint, and the reason being is while I was homeschooling, I always wanted the advice from someone who could see the end of the road and look back and give me thoughtful answers from that. And so I never really tried to give too much advice while I was in the trenches homeschooling. Um, but now that I'm finished, I'm going to try to be that person that I always needed. So if you've seen my last two videos, you'll see that I've started answering questions and I'm waiting for more questions. But in the meanwhile, I think we should start at the beginning. In the beginning, no, seriously. Literally, my husband and I started talking about homeschooling when I was at home with a new baby, scared to death, unsuccessfully breastfeeding our first child with a bit of postpartum. I wouldn't even call it depression, I would call it mania. And he walks in and says, I met a guy at work today whose children are homeschooled and we should do that. And I looked at him and I said words that can't really repeat right now. Basically, I told him he wasn't going to keep me at home being barefoot and pregnant and controlling my life, that I deserved a career too, and da 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 da. It wasn't cute. So, we actually ended up talking to the people a little bit because we had mutual friends, and I just kind of put that on a little shelf where it belonged as far as I was concerned, and went about our lives. Had a second child. Didn't go as smoothly as the first child. She was a lot, but fun. I can always say that she's a handful at 21, but fun. Funny. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so now I have two babies. And my son is in 3-year-old pre-K, and my baby is almost a year old. So, yeah, it was kind of a 3-year-old pre-K. He wasn't quite 3 yet. I don't remember. Anyway, he was old enough to be in the pre-K at the Catholic school around the corner from our house. And so, we enrolled him. The teacher was lovely. Principal was lovely. They took our money. They took care of our child. Half day every day. And every Friday, I came to the teacher's door and I said, how's he doing? And I guess I have to use his first name because it loses its whatever. He can kill me later. So I'd say, how's Jackson doing? And the teacher would say, Jackson is Jackson. Okay, Jackson is Jackson. And I'd take him home. Next Friday, come to the door and I'd say, how's Jackson doing? The teacher would say, Jackson is Jackson. It's okay. And I'd take him home. And, I'd look at his little reports and there were symbols of his work and she would say he was sweet. Not a problem. February, March of that year, I go to the door and I say, how's Jackson doing? And she goes, let's have a conference. That's different. Sure, let's have a conference. So we set a conference for like early the next week, and I sit down in a teeny tiny desk because I'm a big person. I'm sitting in a teeny tiny desk. And she says, so What I think we should do is send Jackson home for the rest of the year, unenroll him, and start again fresh next year. And I'm like, why? And she says, well, he doesn't speak. I said, who doesn't speak? Because this child don't shut up. And she's like, Jackson doesn't speak. He's never spoken in class. And on cue, Jackson says, Jordan, because he's in a corner with his little sister. Jordan, take the toys out of your mouth. Jordan, don't eat that. Don't eat that. Teacher gets up as if she's seen a miracle firsthand, runs over to Jackson, gets on her knees and gets in his face. And she's like, Jackson, you speak, you speak, you speak. And I'm like, oh shit. I've seen this before. I didn't speak in kindergarten or first grade. And Jackson had chosen not to speak in preschool. So I said, and the result of me not speaking was special ed for kindergarten and first grade. But we'll get back to that story of when the teacher hit me and my mother tried to kill him. And that got me tested and they found out that I wasn't special ed. We'll get to that story later. Oh yeah, so I said, okay, come to my house on Saturday. And she came to my house on Saturday and I had Jackson into the door. I had Jackson take her by the hand, lead her to his computer. He climbed up on the little desk. He typed in his Reader Rabbit prompts because back in the day you had to know the CD / blah, 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 blah. And he showed her what he could do. And they got acquainted in February of the school year. That's what happened. Yes. And so the next Friday, I come to the door and I say, how's Jackson doing? And she said, oh, I have to tell you the funniest story. They were doing a balancing beam and Jackson said a word. And a little girl screamed, he speaks, he speaks. And now the whole class knows he speaks and he's speaking. I said, good. And that kind of is how the story started. That year, it took till February for my son to get comfortable enough in the classroom to speak. The next year and every year afterwards, I informed the teachers of his demeanor. And it usually took at least till Christmas for him to get comfortable. Same with my daughter. She spoke a lot. But she and the teachers never saw eye to eye until the school year was at least halfway over. And I filed that in my brain as a problem about how much ground my children are going to lose every year until they built a relationship of trust with their teachers. My husband's being especially noisy in the next room, so I think we'll end this story here. Until next time.